Okay, so I've been having some serious problems with my phone. So my name's Jamie. Most of you, if you're on my Facebook, you know who I am. First and foremost, I don't care what you think about me. I don't care what I look like. I don't have any makeup on. My hair's a mess. And that's important because I'm going to be talking about energy. And how your energy affects other people, and how when you say something to someone that it has more of an impact than what you might think, and how when you say something and you're thinking something else, how that actually has an impact on people as well. And first of all, I'm going to start with the human brain. So there are multiple parts to the human brain. I don't want to go over the exact location of everything in the brain. I'm not going to do that because it's going to take too long. Anyhow, but I want to start with, this is my very first video that I've ever put on Facebook. And I'm going to start with where addiction lies inside the brain. Okay, so I do have my notes right here. This is something that I've studied for quite a while. I'm pretty dedicated. And it's because I'm a recovering addict. And some of my best friends in this whole world are addicts. Actually, my best friend in this whole wide world is actually locked up. He's in prison. Doesn't mean I love him any less. I love him with all my heart. I swear I do. However, with that being said, addiction in itself, it lies in the part of the brain called the hypothalamus. And it also controls your appetite, your cravings, your sleep-wake cycle. It controls your sleeping habits. It also controls your body's thermostat, so what keeps you at a regulated body temperature. And this part of the brain, the hypothalamus, is actually like mid-brain, like right in the center. And if you look at it, like if you look at the anatomy of it, for me and myself, I think it's actually located right behind the bridge of the nose, just a little bit underneath of it, and behind the ear, or behind the eye, I'm sorry. Okay, so the reason why this is important to know, the actual anatomy and the science of what addiction is because that's how we can treat it. Okay, most of these people out here, they don't understand that there's more to addicts than just being a crackhead. Okay, now the hypothalamus, it does a lot of things, and I want to get into exactly, hold on, I gotta find it, what it does. I'm gonna find it. Shit, I should have been ready. Okay, see, this is how dedicated I am. I have quite a few. I have some notes. I have a lot of them. Anyway, while I'm looking for that, actually, I want to touch on Freud. Okay, Sigmund Freud says that there is a stage of psychodevelopment that we go through as children, and Freud says that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different stages of development. The oral stage is number 1, and it's between 0 and 1 years old. And that is the stage that is associated with addictions and OCD. OCD. That's me. I've been OCD all my life. Okay, OCD is actually, it's a trauma. It's a trauma in that stage of our development that is associated with nurturement from parents. So I'm not saying that every addict on the face of the planet can blame their addiction on their parents and their lack of being a nurturing mom or dad. However, I'm saying that this is where that part of the brain is developed. And whenever you're weaning from the breast and or from the bottle, that there was a traumatic experience that you had during that point in time that you can't even recall because it was from 0 to 1 year old. And during that time, that is when addictions began to form. So before you ever even reached a state of being able to say small words, you've already been predetermined as an addict. People don't. Just saying. So, and I'm not saying that every person is an addict that has had a trauma during that stage of development. However, okay, so here I go. I'm gonna jump around a little bit. Okay, so energies. I'm going to go to energies, and you're going to understand how this plays into addiction in just a minute. However, I got to touch on this first. So, energy. So, everything in life is positively charged or negatively charged. We know that by magnetism and Newton's laws of what goes up must come down, and what goes around comes around, and, energies. If you are positively charged, or if you are putting off a positive energy or positive aura, what are you then absorbing? Because negativity, something negative, is a more powerful charge. We know this with magnetism. If you put a negative magnet next to a positive magnet, the negative magnet will stay where it is, and the positive magnet will go to it. Because something positively charged is seeking something. And if you apply that to human beings, then we know that that's true. Because if you are positively if you are positive, then you are looking for something. You are looking for a reason to live. You are trying to accomplish something. So we know this is true. So, and we know that most of us as human beings, we're looking for something, right? Because if we're not, then what are we doing? And that is the reason why it is easy for someone to fall off into negativity, because negativity will draw that attention out of you. Okay, so how do I apply this energy theory to addicts? Okay, so an addict, most generally, for the most part, most of them are not putting out a positive vibe, because they're feeling really down on themselves. Everyone around them is putting them down. They don't really much have left to live. They don't have anything to live for. Most of their family has been like, get away from me. And so they're just breeding all of this negativity, right? What they're trying to draw in is something positive. Because I've never met an addict in my entire life that's what they wanted to be when they grew up was an addict. I know I didn't. You know what I wanted to do when I was a kid? Since the fourth grade, I wanted to live in Seattle, Washington, and I wanted to be a marine biologist. That's what I wanted to do since like 9 years old. Never one time when I was 9 years old did I say, I'm going to be an addict. Never. Not once. So, excuse me. Where I was going with this is that when you have a person in your life that is an addict, and the laws behind it, and what science says it is, and what doctors are not telling anyone, is that they are lacking something. They're lacking something in their life. And if all they're putting out is this negative energy, and they're trying to draw in this positive energy, but they cannot seem to accomplish it, they're never going to go anywhere. That's why they're just stuck in this vicious freaking cycle. Well, we call insanity. What is insanity? doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, expecting a different result. But no one told you that insanity and an experiment are the same thing. It's just one variable change. And Albert Einstein, he was insane, but he didn't account for all the variables because pressure changes. We know that the air changes. Humidity changes the air. And so he was doing the same experiment, and then boom, he discovered something, right? So when I'm talking about energies and insanity and addiction, what I'm saying to you is, if you as a person are speaking to an addict, because, hi, I'm Jamie, I'm an addict, that's what they do in NA, you know, you should know that even though you're saying something to someone, doesn't mean that your energy, what you're thinking about that person, doesn't have an effect on who they are as a person. Because if you tell someone, oh yes, I love you, and blah, 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 but you're thinking in your head, oh my God, this girl, is she ever going to get it together? She's freaking psycho. What the hell? She needs rehab, blah, blah, blah. And that's what you're thinking inside your head. Your addict is picking up that energy that you just expelled. Those thoughts that you were thinking